Good morning, students. I am proceeding. The chapter number 2 is matter around us pure. Now, in the previous classes, we all have discussed about the pure substances or mixtures. Now, here the question arises in my mind whether the water is a pure substance or a mixture. Then again, some other question arises water is an element or a compound. So, whenever we say water is a pure substance or mixture, one thing that must arises in our mind that water has a chemical formula H2O, and every pure substance has some definite formula that we had already discussed. So water chemical formula, as you can see in the second image, it is H2O, where the red ball is my oxygen atom which is bound to the gray balls, they are my hydrogen atoms. So there is a chemical bond between oxygen and the hydrogen atom. Two chemical bonds are there. So whenever you collect the water from any source, either pond water, lake, tap water, distilled water, any source, your chemical formula remains the same, that is H2O. Now first we are going to discuss the difference between the compounds and the mixtures. So first point says that compounds are formed when two or more elements combine together in fixed proportion. That means if I am talking about the water, water is formed from two elements, that is hydrogen and oxygen. They are combining in the fixed ratio, that is why there is a formation of compound. I'll give you one more example, the formation of sodium chloride, which is formed from your sodium and the chlorine atom, that is Na and Cl. These two atoms are combining in the ratio of 1:1. That means there is a formation of compound. But mixtures, they are combined, that means elements or compounds, they combined in variable composition, and there is no reaction taking place in between the elements or compounds. That means you simply mix the two and you can see the constituents present in the mixture. No new compound is formed in mixture. So what we have discussed in the first point, compounds, they are formed from two or more elements which always combine in the fixed ratio. But for the mixture, elements or compounds, they are simply mixed and they always combine in the variable composition. Second difference is the constituents present in compound cannot be separated by physical process. I'll give you the example of physical process like your filtration, decantation, sedimentation. All these are the examples of physical process. So, compounds cannot be separated by physical process. Suppose I take water in a beaker and I carry out the process of filtration. Then, after filtering, whatever filtrate I get, filtrate means the substance which passes through the filter paper. So the filtrate which I obtain will by water only. So with the help of filtration, I am not able to separate my hydrogen and oxygen elements. So compounds are never separated by physical processes, but they can be separated by chemical or electrochemical reactions. When you pass the electricity through water, then two gases will be evolved, that is hydrogen and oxygen. So this is my electrochemical process because electricity is supplied through it. But in case of mixtures, the constituents present in mixtures can be separated by physical process. I'll give you one more example of mixture. If I take a china dish and then add iron pieces into it and then add sulfur powder, we all know that iron has magnetic properties, but sulfur do not exhibit. When you bring a magnet near to the mouth of the china dish, then you will examine that all the iron particles will stick to the surface of magnet. That means iron after mixing still exhibit the property of magnet because it attracts towards a magnet, and hence mixtures they can be separated by physical process. Third difference is compounds have fixed melting point and boiling point. I'll give you some examples. Water, what is the melting point of ice? That is 0 degrees Celsius. What is the boiling point of water? That is 100 degrees Celsius. Now what is the boiling point of alcohol? That is 78 degrees Celsius. What is the boiling point of acetone? That is again 56 degree Celsius. So that means all the compounds have fixed melting point and boiling point, but mixtures they do not have fixed melting point and boiling point because a new substance is not formed. Now you cannot predict that this is your melting point. If I add salt into water, whatever amount I am adding into water, your melting point will automatically get changed. So mixtures they do not have fixed melting or boiling point. Fourth difference is the constituents present in compound has entirely different property as that of a compound. For example, when I am taking water consists of two molecules, that is hydrogen and oxygen. We all know that water is a fire extinguisher because it extinguishes the fire. But oxygen is a supporter of combustion and hydrogen is a combustible substance. That means hydrogen की वजह से आग लग जाती है और ऑक्सीजन की प्रेजेंस में आग लगती है, लेकिन जो हमारा नया कंपाउंड वाटर बना उस वाटर में तो ये प्रॉपर्टी है कि वो आग बुझा दे. That means the compounds have entirely different property as that of a individual constituents. But in case of mixtures, they retains their property. The constituent property is similar to the properties of mixture. अभी मैंने example बताया था on mixing your iron and sulfur when you bring the magnet. Even on mixing, iron do not loses its magnetic property because it gets attracted towards a magnet. So mixtures they retain their property. Fifth difference is the compounds have definite chemical formula. What is the chemical formula of water? That is H2O. Salt, NaCl. Sugar, C12H22O11. Glucose, C6H12O6. Copper sulfate, CuSO4. That means every compound has definite chemical formula. But if I talk about the chemical formula of mixtures, they do not have any chemical formula. For example, air is a mixture of gas. Can anyone tell me the chemical formula of air? Answer is no. Air is a mixture of gases. It contains oxygen, it contains nitrogen, it contains water vapors, it contains your carbon dioxide, methane. I can tell the formula of every gas that is there in the air, but I cannot determine the chemical formula of air. Now, the next difference is about the energy. Whenever there is a formation of some compound, energy is either liberated or absorbed in the form of heat, light or electricity. But in case of mixture, when I was mixing two compounds, then they do not release energy. They neither release energy nor absorb energy. That means no energy is required. You are simply just stirring the two components. Then your energy is neither absorbed nor evolved. Seventh difference is compounds are always homogeneous. Water. Can you see the particles of hydrogen and oxygen in water? No. That means compounds are always homogeneous. You cannot see the particles present in the compound, because homogeneous mixtures, we had already discussed in the previous class, it is defined as the uniform composition throughout their mass. But mixtures, I can see the iron from my naked eyes in my iron and sulfur composition. That means mixtures are heterogeneous, but except in solutions. Solutions, we had already discussed that mixtures are of two types, homogeneous and heterogeneous. When mixture is your salt solution, it has no definite formula, but still it is a mixture and it is a homogeneous mixture. So mixtures are homogeneous as well as heterogeneous, and homogeneous mixtures, they are the solutions only. Eighth difference is the example of compounds. Water, chemical formula is H2O, salt, NaCl, glucose, C6H12O6, copper sulfate, CuSO4. Examples of your mixtures. Salt solution, it has no definite formula, that means salt plus water. Sugar plus salt, there is a boundary line which separates the two. Chalk solution, oil and water solution. So they are the examples of mixtures. Now we will discuss that, is my water a pure substance and a compound? We had already discussed water is a pure substance. That means it has specific formula, H2O. That means it is a compound. And why it is pure? Because it is made up of same kind of particle, and here the particles are hydrogen and oxygen. Water is always made up of hydrogen and oxygen. So in this diagram, observe it carefully. H2 plus O2 gives you H2O. You can see the 2 here, which is written before H2 and H2O. Why we are writing this 2 here? In order to balance the equation, because the number of hydrogen atoms on the reactant and the product side, reactant side means on the left side where two compounds or two substances are reacting. So two hydrogen molecules, you can see the gray balls, HH means H2 is one molecule, and if I am writing this 2 before H2, that means it consists of two molecules of hydrogen. When this combines with one molecule of oxygen, that is a red ball, OO, has a double bond in between, it will gives us water. And how many water molecules are formed? 2 water molecules are formed. So this is my chemical equation. This is my balanced chemical equation, where hydrogen atoms on both the side is 4 and oxygen atom on both the side is 2. So because of the following reasons, we are going to explain that water is a pure substance and a compound. So first reason is, when hydrogen combines with oxygen in the ratio of 2:1. 2:1 means hydrogen is 2 and oxygen is 1. That is the ratio 2:1. So when hydrogen combines in the ratio of 2:1, then there is a formation of compound water. And how many water compounds will be formed? How many molecules of water will be formed? There will be 2 molecules of water. Second difference, the elements present in water, that is hydrogen and oxygen, cannot be separated by the physical methods like filtration, decantation, sedimentation. But they can be separated only by passing electricity through them. We have already discussed, when you take a beaker full of water and you are passing this water from the strainer, then the filtrate which is passed to the strainer is also a water which has a chemical formula H2O. So that means you are not able to separate the gases, that is hydrogen and oxygen, even on passing or by using a strainer. That means by filtration, that is a physical process, you cannot separate the two. But they can be separated when you pass the electricity through the water. It will give you 2 gases, hydrogen and oxygen. Coming to the third reason, water has fixed boiling point, that is 100 degrees Celsius, and ice, that is a form of water only, it has fixed melting point, that is 0 degrees Celsius. Fourth, water has different properties than the properties of hydrogen and oxygen. I have already told you compounds, they never retain the properties. That means the constituents present in the compounds, they never retain the property when a new compound is formed. Water is formed from hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen is a combustible substance. Oxygen is a supporter of combustion. But water is a fire extinguisher. So the properties entirely got changed and thus water is a compound. Fifth reason is water has a definite chemical formula, that is H2O. Every compound has some specific formula. Whenever there is a formation of water, energy is released. Water is homogeneous compound. Homogeneous means it has uniform composition throughout its mass. So water is a homogeneous compound. Now we will discuss how air is an impure substance and a mixture because of the following reasons. You can see in the diagram that air is a mixture of gases, that it contains nitrogen, it contains oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor, oxygen in variable composition. That means we are saying 21% of oxygen, 78% nitrogen and 1% other gases like CO2, water vapor, methane, but 1% is not fixed. That means it is a mixture of gases and it has variable composition. Air has no fixed melting point or boiling point. Air never burns. Air is just a medium in which your combustion process takes place. Air contains nitrogen, air contains your oxygen, air contains carbon dioxide. So why do it possess some specific melting point or boiling point? No, it is not a substance. It is just a mixture. Air is homogeneous. Homogeneous because it has uniform composition throughout its mass. You cannot see that this is my oxygen gas molecule. You cannot see that this is my nitrogen gas molecule. So air is homogeneous. It has uniform composition throughout its mass. When you are sitting in one room, whatever variable composition, your surroundings consist of that gas. Similarly, another room also consists the same type of gases. So that means it is a homogeneous mixture. Now air has no chemical formula, but the gases which are there in air, that is hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, they do have some chemical formula because they are the elements, and elements, they have some specific symbols. Air represents the properties of different gases present in it. We had discussed that mixtures retain their property as that of individual constituents present in it. For example, when you burn a piece of paper, why it is burning? The reason is because of the presence of oxygen. So that means even that air is a mixture of gases, still your oxygen resembles the property of combustion even when it is mixed with the complete air. So air is just a mixture of gases in variable composition and it never changes its property when a mixture is formed. Thank you, class.